New chief executive to replace Siyabonga Gama before the end of this week. Gama was fired as the Transnet CEO this weekend, despite a Labour Court ruling saying the dispute that he has with Transnet must be taken to arbitration. At the moment, it's not clear if he will be challenging his dismissal in court. The firm says it's looking for a leader that will take charge in a responsible manner. The board says Gama failed to adhere to the October 15th deadline to provide reasons why his contract should not be terminated. Non-executive board member Mpho Letlape says they are looking for someone that will be able to discharge their responsibilities and get the company to where it needs to. Gama has been given 6 months' notice but will continue to receive his salary for this period. Well, for more now on the story, we are joined by a member of the Transnet Board, as I said a little earlier on, Mpho Letlape. Good evening to you, and thank you so much for talking to us this evening.
Well, good evening, Bongani, and thank you for inviting us to be here.
All right. I mean, the basic fact that everyone is going to be looking at is that the Labour Court, no less, said the matter between Transnet and Siyabonga Gama should be taken to arbitration. Why have you gone against that? Okay,
it is not going against that. What the Labour Court ruled on, remember Siyabonga Gama went to the Labour Court to ask the Labour Court to nullify the intent to terminate. So that was put on stay. That has not been ruled on. So what has been ruled on is that any disputes that we have should be taken to arbitration. We don't have a dispute with Gama. He has a dispute with us, and he needs to refer that to arbitration. But also, and I want to read this because it was in the judgment, the interdict was not ordered by the court. In fact, the judge specifically stated that Mr. Gama has no right not to be dismissed. That was in the judgment that was issued. He has no right not to be dismissed. So we did not violate anything in the ruling. We went ahead with dismissing him. Reason being, we gave him 10 days to respond to us onto why he should not be dismissed.
Sure, but it's common cause that he might think that given the fact that the Labour Court had said this matter can go into arbitration, that might have delayed at least the section that we saw at the weekend.
Well, I mean, there are different things that would need to delay that. He was not granted the interdict that he went in to avoid, to force the board not to dismiss him. So there was nothing to delay the board from moving on, because we do need to move on as a country. We do need to move on as an organization. We do need to begin to work towards bringing Transnet back to its glory days.
Well, let's talk about moving on. I mean, what is it that the board is raising as the central issue, that locomotive deal?
It's not necessarily just the locomotive deal. It's matters of procurement fiduciary duties, from financial fiduciary duties, internal controls generally in the organization. As you know, we ended up with a qualified audit for a reason, and we're saying that we need somebody that will take their responsibilities seriously. So at the moment, this board of Transnet does not trust and does not have the requisite confidence that Siyabonga Gama is the right person to lead the organization into the future.
There is a view that all of this is politics in some ways, particularly around the people that have been fingered as part of what the board has raised and has flagged as a number of issues, because not only him, but there were other executives who've been dismissed.
Okay, I am no politician, and we have not received any directive from any politician. We just non-executive members of the board are appointed by cabinet to go in and make sure that we steer the organization into the direction that South Africa needs for it to go.
All right, so take us into your confidence. What is the state of Transnet right now?
The state of Transnet, we will be, and Friday, in fact, we will be reviewing the half-year results of the organization. There are quite a lot of operational issues that we're looking into, we're taking into consideration, and it is one of the reasons we really need definitive action so that we can move away from the distractions that exist at the moment towards making sure that, so the organization is healthy, the organization has work to do, and the board has work to do in directing the organization and in fulfilling its duty of oversight over the operation, over the functions of the organization to take it where it needs to.
But part of the story that we've seen emerge, not only from Transnet, but from other state-owned enterprises around particularly the state capture matter, a lot of questions there have still not been answered in terms of deals and arrangements that were made and facilitated at Transnet.
Yes, but you would have seen all of that in the Werksman report, in the Fundizi report, and also in the MNS report. So that is public record now. It is out there. So all of those issues have been raised. All of those issues are being talked about. And we're working together with government, together with other state agencies to make sure that those are attended to and the requisite action is taken.
Yeah, the essence of my question is, can we still take action? Can we recoup some of those monies? Are some of those contracts still in effect?
It is our intent to take action, definitely. It is our intent to recoup some of the monies, and it is our intent to refer the cases that we need to refer to the police, to the National Prosecuting Authority, and to other authorities for action to be taken.
Dismissal is one thing, but do you want former executives at Transnet to be charged?
I think that the recommendation from those reports has definitely recommended that they be charged.
So who do you want to charge?
The reports that we have, it's the issues of the names that have been banded, it's Anot Singh and it is Brian Molefe, amongst others. Those are the ones that are visible in the reports that we have seen.
So will Transnet be pursuing those matters? Do you want Anot Singh, the former CFO, and Brian Molefe to be charged?
We will be.
How does South Africa move on from all of this? I mean, we've seen so many revelations, and we're not talking small amounts here.
Well, what we're trying to do at Transnet right now is to begin the process for Transnet to move on, so that we can then forget this and begin to build what we need to build to be able to go ahead. So how does South Africa move on? By taking decisive action, by actioning the things that need to be actioned, and then by making sure that the right people are put in the jobs, the right people are supported in the jobs, the right people are encouraged, and they're given the powers that be to be able to run the organizations and that way contribute to the economy.
Gama may fight this.
I'm sure he's going to, yeah.
What happens next?
Well, we'll just have to
wait. It just keeps on getting delayed. What I'm saying is the arbitration matter is still something that can be put on the table so that at least there's a mutual way of moving forward.
Yeah, we're going to have to find a mutual way of going forward, yes. And we're in continuous discussions with the lawyers. I don't know whether he's going to go to court. I've heard rumors that he is going to be interdicting.
But the longer it takes, you're unable to move on until this thing has been resolved.
But understand, Bongani, that as far as the Transnet Board is concerned, Siyabonga Gama no longer works for Transnet.
All right. We'll
it is not going to stop us from appointing an acting executive and putting the process to appoint the next group chief executive of Transnet in place. Thank you.
We'll see how it unfolds. Thank you very much for joining us. A board member there, Mpho Letlape, is saying as far as they're concerned, Siyabonga Gama no longer works at Transnet. Now, President Cyril Ramaphosa says he's back at work and looking forward to a busy